at 5:55 or 2:55 or 1:55 in the morning or wherever you guys are from in the world. Thanks for being here. It's always so much fun to chat with all of you before the video. So thank you to everyone that I was chatting to. It's always such a blast. I hear that a lot of you really liked my meditation in the last Q&A video. I also apologize for all of the ads. Honestly, if I don't catch YouTube, it'll automatically turn on the monetization, and when they turn on the ads, they turn on all the ads. So I'm sorry for that. The last video is much better, but that Q&A is going to be hopping over to my membership. And if you're really sick and tired of ads, you can just go to my membership program, and I've got over 100 videos that are all ad-free. So just keep that in mind. I actually have a really awesome membership video that I'm going to record right after this. And this was actually my second topic for today. But the other topic kind of ruled. So the membership video that I'm going to record for Thursday is how to change your autopilot programming to 5D. Just because you have or you are on autopilot doesn't necessarily mean that that autopilot is a bad thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's 3D. Typically when we think about autopilot, we think about doing things unconsciously. But what if you upgraded your autopilot to everything that you do is actually in a higher vibration? So that is coming at all of you members, and that's a part of the accountability videos, right? So I'm gonna give you some homework and I'm gonna keep you accountable so that the next week I can check in on how that homework went. So we can get all pumped up about that. I did some meditating right before this video, and recently I've needed to tune in to the collective vibration per video because there is so much content, there is so much information, there is so much that all of us are experiencing. What is that one thing right now in this moment and for this week that we all need to know about moving forward? So I was planning on going to the Galactic Federation. I was thinking about the Palladian Security Council. Then I was thinking about the Octurian Timeline Council. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just go over to Mother Gaia. Let's just feel out the collective vibration on this planet. And thank you, Angelo, for that another very generous super chat. If you guys do resonate with this content, super chats are always super appreciated, and so is signing up for the membership. So it was going to Mother Gaia, and it was going to the collective consciousness to really figure out what do you guys need right now? Above and beyond all the chaos, all the confusion, all the information, all the politics, all the polarity, what is it? And the information that I received back from Mother G was 3D to 5D discernment. I've talked a lot about 3D and 5D in the last couple of months, but this video specifically is how do we discern between high vibration and low vibration moving into 2021? Because shit's about to get crazy. It's about to get chaotic. And we need to have this ability, this tool, to really navigate through high vibration or low vibration. So we're gonna get into that today, and it's pretty in depth. All right, so before I deep dive, I just wanna say, make sure you guys are subscribed, you hit the like button, and you share this on your networks. If you're younger, maybe you wanna share this on TikTok. If you're around my age, maybe you wanna share this on Instagram. And if you're older, maybe you wanna share it on Facebook. It doesn't matter, right? But sharing it is always a very positive thing, especially even those who don't really know what's going on. This is a perfect video to share. So my teachings have really, I don't want to say shifted because it's all the same kind of information, just put in different ways. But essentially there are 3 different things that I have to consider per video and per teaching, and even the books that I'm writing per book. So right now I have to bring a 3D perspective to everything. And at the same time, I have to teach how to transition that 3D perspective into the 5D perspective. And that's the second thing that I have to focus on, is the transitions. And then the third thing that I have to focus on is the 5D. Now that you're in 5D, what is that perspective? What does that look like? Because right now, even within my own audience, we've got some people who are in 3D, some people who are in 5D, and some people who are kind of flip-flopping back and forth. That's okay. I have 5D moments, I have 3D moments, I have 3D days, I get triggered. We're all kind of in the same boat, and that's totally fine. But in order to encompass everyone, I really have to target all three stages of experience in moment to moment moving into 2021. Hopefully moving forward, I can just talk about 5D and that's easy, right? If you guys want to know what 3D, 4D, 5D is, definitely check out some of my other 3D to 5D videos. One of my most popular videos actually deep dives into what is 3D, what is 5D, and what that looks like. Okay, so a couple of things to keep in mind. Why is discernment so important for 2021? The first point that I wrote down here is, if you are unclear or unsure about anything moving into 2021, then you're leaving yourself and you're leaving your vibration vulnerable. And vulnerable not maybe in a positive way, because we all need to work on vulnerability and being more in trust and being in surrender, but this is the kind of vulnerability that can leave you open to attack. It can leave you open to swaying your perception or lowering your vibration, right? So that's the kind of vulnerability that I'm talking about. And when I really feel like when I'm strong in my convictions or I'm unsure in my knowledge, the center for that is always the solar plexus chakra. So maybe your mom, okay, or a family member is a very negative individual. And every time you talk to her, you just feel like she dominates the conversation, that you don't have the ability to navigate or step into your power. And then the one time that you do step into your power and you speak your truth, you feel sick to your stomach for 3 days afterwards. Or you feel an insatiable appetite, or you have no appetite at all. It's because the thoughts that you think, the words that you speak, and the actions that you do all hold a vibrational frequency. And the more and more we step into our knowing, our conviction, our discernment with 3D and 5D, the more and more it's going to shift and affect your solar plexus. And for those of you who don't know, that's right in your gut. It's right in your stomach. It's right below your chest and your heart chakra. I know that for a very long time, I was feeling these waves of anxiety, waves of nausea, and every once in a while, it will still hit me when I'm shifting that solar plexus, right? Okay, second thing, why is discernment important? Between 2021 and 2024, as we kind of already know, moving forward, it's going to be confusing. It's going to be very, very confusing. If you do not have a clear perception on what you believe, which is totally fine. It's better to not know what you believe than to think that you know what to believe, if that makes sense, all right? So, so if you're going into this next year, 2021, and you're not really sure on what light is, what false light is, what 5D is, what 3D is, who you are in 5D or 3D, you are going to be open to a lot of confusion, and that confusion is going to lead to spiraling, which leads to anxiety, which leads to depression, which leads to doubt, which leads to you being unsure, which leads to basically an ego death. And as we all know, ego deaths are important if you need it. But getting stuck in the confusion, especially as a light worker, it is a standstill moment that doesn't allow you to move forward with confidence, right? Like I said, it's better to be unsure than it is to be confident in something that's an illusion. But the only way that we know what is an illusion in your own life and what is not is through questioning and deep diving and really exploring each concept and each moment and each understanding of what's going on. Okay? And then the last point of why is discernment important moving into the new year? we can't help Gaia, we can't help the collective, and we can't even help ourselves if we're stuck in 3D. Straight up. And I think that we can all, be reassured in yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay, so a couple of things to consider before we break down what the 3D version of yourself looks like and what the 5D version of yourself looks like, so that you can be able to have the tools to navigate moving forward. All right, so to consider. When you are in 3D, okay, wait, hold on. I can't read my own writing. Okay, when you are in 5D, 3D things will be irritating. That's the word that I put down. So this is really interesting. I've been having this all the time lately, and I actually came up with a word for it, or a label for it. I call it 3D sensitivity, okay? When you have 3D sensitivity. So, believe it or not, when you're in a higher vibrational frequency, which is really just what 5D is, right? 5D is just a fancy term for a higher vibration. When you're in a higher vibration, 100%, it's possible for you to get triggered. And it's not necessarily like a trigger for everyone is different. Sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's frustration, sometimes it's just being annoyed, right? But you can be in 5D. Typically, things that make you reactionary in 3D don't really make you react in 5D. But what I've noticed is, say for example, I'm having a really good day, I'm journaling, I'm in a high vibration, I'm like in my own little bubble, maybe I'm doing some art, whatever that 5D day looks like for me, or I'm just in that gratitude and appreciation. And then I'm listening to Spotify, and all of a sudden some sort of like hard rock or, like Slipknot or whatever song comes on. It will jar my vibration and it will be irritating. That's the word that comes to me. It's just things are irritating. Same thing with watching TV, right? There are certain things that you can watch that are very thought-provoking and very mindful and very stimulating, and then there are things that don't really have a vibration at all. They're not necessarily high vibration, they're not necessarily low vibration, that's okay too. And then there are things that are actually quite a low vibration. And if you're in a higher vibration of 5D, you're gonna be irritated by those things in that moment. One thing that I get stuck in a lot, and I think that this is where the spiritual ego is really important. It's important not to attach yourself to 5D beliefs or even a 5D state of being, right? That attachment to the higher vibration will actually lower the vibration. So say for example, this used to happen all the time, just in my own personal life. So I'd be like living my life and, in a higher vibration and cause and effect and taking responsibility over what I'm creating. And then all of a sudden my partner, it's like something happens and someone's asking for money and whatever, but it's because she didn't clarify a communication thing. And I already saw that was going to be the outcome. And so for me, it's like, well, I don't really have sympathy. This is like bad, right? I don't really have sympathy because you created that yourself, and it's time for you to step up and take accountability for your actions. You created the situation. You have no one else to blame but yourself, right? So for me, it's like, and I don't think that it's right for me to do this. It's like me holding other people accountable to being in that 5D place. It's like, well, you're not the victim, so stop playing the victim. And that's irritating for me because I am doing the work and taking all the accountability in my own life, and I just expect that people do that. So attachment to 5D concepts, attachment to 5D vibration, and expectation of others also being in that 5D are going to be irritating for you because you're bringing in 3D energy of expectation and attachment into these 5D vibrations. And recently I've gotten so much better at just supporting my partner and my wife unconditionally and with compassion, rather than holding her to any sort of standards that I hold myself to. And it makes me realize that I'm holding myself to higher standards, not necessarily higher standards, but but just standards that I'm attached to, that I don't need to be attached to, right? Because that attachment will always lead to disappointment. Okay, so once again, 3D sensitivities. Maybe you're in the middle of eating a meal, and halfway through the meal, you're like, nope, this is gross. This does not resonate with me. It's irritating. Something about that moment does not resonate with your highest frequency. So in those moments, you need to ask yourself, why doesn't this resonate with me? Is it because I'm in a higher vibration and this thing that I'm experiencing is a lower vibration? Or is it because I'm in a lower vibration and this thing that I'm experiencing is in a higher vibration? That's where I find a lot of my content triggers people who maybe not on that higher frequency level, because they're in that lower frequency and maybe my vibration as it is, or the content that I'm saying is in a different vibration, and that's triggering or irritating for them, right? So just a couple of things to consider, because it gets a little bit confusing, but hopefully that makes sense so far. Okay. So think about the 3D to 5D irritation or the 3D sensitivities. Imagine, pre-COVID, pre-quarantine, that you spent all day meditating and self-love and taking a bath and writing in your journal, and then your friends were like, hey, let's go out to a bar together. And then you go out to a bar, and the entire time you're at this bar, you're having a freaking anxiety attack. It's because you went from one vibration into a different vibration. We can't perceive 3D and 5D as right or wrong. We cannot associate right or wrong to them, because all we're doing is we're creating more dogma. We're creating more attachments to beliefs. That's like the wrong way to go about doing things. Okay, so just an example for you. Also, I want to mention any teacher or preacher, I don't know, that focuses on polarity is still stuck in 3D, even if they tell you otherwise. Now, recently, I have been having very interesting conversations with some haters. That's what I call them. I'm going to come up with a better name for them. But I've been, so if I'm on Instagram and I get like a message of someone saying like, recently it's been like, you're an Illuminati puppet and you're on the Illuminati payroll. And I'm like, great, well, where's the money? You know what I mean? Anyway, I laugh because it's so ridiculous. And it's funny because people who see me going like, okay, they're like, those are Illuminati symbols and she's a part of the... And it's funny because I used to be like that, like years ago. Any sort of like Illuminati, whatever, I was like, boom, peg you as a reptilian shapeshifter. So, I'm not in there, and I'm not going to watch every single hand movement that I make just to appease the haters. But I've been really having in-depth conversations with them. Well, why do you feel this way? And so this one that I had a conversation with a couple days ago, right? He starts off by saying, you're making stuff up for money, which I hear often. And I said, you know what? If someone couldn't afford the $11 that I charge for something, I would just give it away for free. And Lauren knows that. And we do that all the time, right? And actually by the end of that hater conversation, I said, it seems like you're really hurting. And if you want some information, I'll give you a free session. So it went from me extorting people for money to me giving away a free session and him being like, okay, cool, I'll meditate on it, But the one that I had the other day was with someone who was calling me an Illuminati, puppet. That's what they called me. And so they're like, I'm going to scream it from the rooftops. I'm going to post it all over Twitter and Instagram and Facebook that you're this Illuminati puppet. And I just very calmly replied back and I said, well, you're pushing your belief on people, and in a sense, you're taking away someone's free will to determine whether or not I'm an Illuminati puppet themselves, and you're projecting that belief onto them. I said, I don't project what is right or what is wrong on anyone because I believe in free will. And all I'm asking you to do is just allow people in their own right to feel out, what the truth is for them, right? It was nothing back, right? It was, of course. So I just, I told them, I said, look, like at the end of the day, the light wins, right? And they're like, yeah, that's right, the light wins. And basically implying that means that I'm going to be taken down. So it's been very interesting, the polarity that has been created, right? But ultimately, we need to consider that anyone who is telling you that anything is right or wrong is still stuck in the 3D, even if they project, even if they show themselves as the light, right? So anytime something's like, that doesn't really sit well with me, trust that feeling. Even if it's something that I say and you love all the content that I have, but something that I say doesn't sit right with you, that's okay. Utilize your discernment. Question everything in every moment and ultimately trust that intuition because you know what's best for you. And there's no one out there, myself especially included, that everything that I say is right or everything that someone says is wrong. It's just like understanding that there are high vibrational beings within humanity and there are low vibrational beings within humanity. All of us experience polarity, right? So just think for yourself is really what it comes down to. The other thing one more thing that I wanted to mention for you guys to consider is when you hop back and forth between 3D and 5D, a low vibrational frequency and a high vibrational frequency, you will be exhausted. You will be exhausted, right? Because you're stretching yourself. It's like, think about it this way, just in reference. If the moon was the 5th dimension frequency and the earth was the 3rd dimension frequency, and on a per day basis, you're astral traveling to the moon and you're astral traveling back to earth and back and forth multiple times a day, of course you're going to be exhausted, right? So as an example, say for example, your job is really low vibrational and you don't really like it and it doesn't really serve your highest good. But when you come back home, you feel good and you're in alignment and you're taking a bath and you're taking care of yourself and you're eating properly and what have you, you're going from 3D in your job to 5D at home and you're flip-flopping back and forth, and that's a lot for your system to handle. So it's okay, and as a matter of fact, it's very natural that you are exhausted. And most likely you're exhausted because of that 3D, 5D switch. What I highly recommend for all of you, and a little piece of homework to take home with you, even though you're probably at home, is I want you per day to really feel out what choices, what thoughts, and what actions you're making in a high vibration in 5D, or what you're choosing and focusing on and creating in a low vibration in 3D. And we're going to get to what is 5D and what is 3D. Okay, one more thing before we get to 3D and 5D and the difference between both is I want to talk a little bit about the new normal, right? There's like the topic of the new normal, and everyone's kind of scared of the new normal, and it's been kind of pegged as like a fear-based thing of like, this is the new normal, and the new world order is like creating this new normal. But I want to tell you that the way that I perceive the new normal within our collective and individual reality is the new normal is anything that you want it to be. We are in between the old normal and the new normal. But the new normal is a quantum state where everything is simultaneously existing. All timelines are happening right now. The new normal in your own individual life and frequency, which really right now is all that matters, okay? You need to ask yourself, what do I want in this new normal? What do I want in this new state? If I can have anything, then what is it that I want? You are in charge. You are in control of what that new normal is. And no one should be telling you any differently. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's move into 3D. How do you know when you're in 3D? So moving forward, I want you all to really focus on what is a 3D choice, what is a 5D choice per day, right? So how do you really truly know what is 3D and what is 5D? Ultimately, the number one thing that I find in my own life with 3D and being in 3D is it's really any time that I get stuck in my own mind. That's what it comes down to for me. So it's all about the mind. 3D is all up here. It's not your consciousness, it's the mind. It's the figuring out. Okay, so these are all the things that you will experience in 3D frequency. Overthinking, judgment, jealousy, doubt, figuring it all out. When you're like, I gotta figure it all out. There's a need that you're implying, and there's also a lack that you're implying upon trying to figure it all out. I need to figure it all out because I don't know. I need to have more because I don't have enough. I need more validation because I don't trust myself. Every aspect of 3D equates to lack. I need to prove myself because I'm attached to an identity, because I'm scared of changing that identity. It's all about lack. It's all just different fractals and different forms and different projections of lack, okay? Attachment, expectation leads to disappointment. Disappointment means that you're not fluid, right? You're not allowing what needs to happen from moment to moment to happen. You have an expectation around what should happen because you have a fear of something wrong happening because you're still in lack. Also, like other things, typically like a lot of anger will pop up, reaction triggered. I do want to let you know that we're all kind of flip-flopping at this time, and we're all kind of in between 3D and 5D, which means that the old aspects of yourself, the old aspects of your reality, and the old hidden suppressed energy that you've been holding on to is all coming out to the surface right now. It's all being projected. It's all being released. So a couple of you were saying that you were feeling this intense bout of anger today. And, you know, it was maybe like a month ago where I felt like just, it was so interesting. I was having a great day full of love and gratitude and appreciation. And in this moment, like this huge ball of anger, and I'm not really an angry person ever. So this anger, and like, I was like pushing my shit around on my desk and getting all frustrated and angry. I'm like, where is this coming from? And all I heard was that it was a release of old energy, right? It was a release of this pent up stuff that you don't even have to pinpoint where the energy is coming from. Just trust that it needs to be released. But once again, when we need to know, we lock ourselves into the mind. Anytime we are locked into the mind, we are stuck in 3D, right? So more reactionary, more triggered. It's the need energy. It's the need energy, which equates to the lack energy. I need this because I'm in lack here, right? I need to know why. I need to have blank, right? It's all lack, it's all 3D, and the perception, okay, 3D, a lower vibration, starts and ends in your thoughts. It starts and ends in your perception. Your entire physical reality does not need to change in order for you to be in a 5D state of being, okay? The lack, the 3D, is a perception of lack. You could be, God forbid, homeless on the street with nothing to your name and still so grateful and so appreciative. When I left my ex-fiance, I lost every single penny that I had saved up. All the money that I had in my accounts went to the down payments for all of the wedding stuff and the ring and the rent and all of that. I just pretty much left my country, changed my sexuality, lost all of my money, and yet I was never more grateful in my entire life because I was listening to the direction that I needed to be in that was most aligned to my highest self. And then, after 3 years of being in this new reality and stepping into this state of being, am I finally at a place where my physical reality is aligning to my vibrational state. Changing your vibration from lower to higher is gratitude. It's always, always gratitude. I lost my job. Screw my boss for firing me. Or, I lost my job. I am so grateful that I lost my job because I hated my job and it wasn't serving me. And because I was fired, I now get a package or whatever it's called, right? A severance. There are ways to look at things in a different way. Like, for example, maybe like 8 months ago, I had a client and, last time I saw her was like a year ago. And she's like, Elizabeth, you told me something crazy was going to happen in February, and guess what? It did. I got into this major car accident. And I said, oh no, are you okay? She's like, actually, I've never been better before. I couldn't afford the type of body work that I needed to straighten out my body issues that I had before the accident. Now that I had the accident, and I was put into the hospital, I've got all of the body work, all of the health care, all of the everything taken care of. This accident was a gift from the universe. And all I thought of was, wow, this is someone who is in and perceiving everything in her reality in the 5th dimension frequency. Life is still going to happen to you. It's how you perceive it that affects and changes the vibration around you, and that ripples into your future, which affects and changes the vibration of your next moment. Gratitude will always transmute the lower vibrations of lack. Always. No matter where you are in your life, no matter what you have or what you don't have, you each have the free will and the capability to move into a place of gratitude. Okay, so be aware in the next month where your vibration is at from day to day and how you are being affected by other people who are not necessarily in a higher vibration or that abundance appreciation mindset. And have compassion over those people, just like I have compassion over all the people who dedicate their every day to trying to expose or to take me down. So much compassion for those people, because I was there too. At one point I thought everyone who was in politics was a reptilian and we were all doomed, right? So yeah, you just hold space, because from that space you have utter trust within the higher vibrations. You have utter trust within love frequency and the light. The light will and always does win and expose the darkness. That's why I'm like just chilling over here, Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so how do you know that you're in 5D, right? Once again, like out of all the concepts, out of all the information, out of everything that's going on right now, the discernment between 3D and 5D was the number one topic that needed to be brought up right now at this time. Because it's going to be so confusing moving forward. If you are not clear in what 5D is, if you are not clear in who you are in a higher vibration, you can very easily be sucked in, be led astray, and be sucked into that mind, that thinking that, but what's going on? But why is this happening? But da-da-da-da-da. I need to know, I need to have. All equating to lack. So how do you know if you're in 5D? It all comes down to the heart space. It all comes down to trusting. 3D is the mind. 3D is figuring it out. 3D is attachment. 3D is identity. 3D is dogma. 3D is programming. 3D is needing. 5D is calming. It's relaxing. It's heart-spaced. It's trusting. It's so different. It is so freeing. It's so liberating. It's so empowering. It's just so beautiful being in this state of being. You're really beyond the drama of it all, you know? And I think for you all to be here, you felt that before. And hopefully you felt that within my videos as well, is that 5D, like that resonance, that love, that higher perspective, right? So overall, it's about the heart space. The word that comes through always for 5D is trust. And it's not trusting someone else to tell you what's right and wrong. It's always trusting yourself to know, to feel, to navigate what's right and wrong for you. It's trusting you. It's not trusting anything or anyone else. When you start to disempower yourself and attempt to trust someone else, that's when, are they right? Are they wrong? This is really going against my beliefs. This is confusing, right? You get stuck up here. Let all of that go and get into here and ask yourself, but how do I feel when I'm watching this video? How do I feel when I'm listening to these words, right? The other word that comes through with 5D is it is abundance. It's not what you have or what you don't have. It's the vibrational frequency that you perceive and how you feel from moment to moment. And it will always feel like more than enough. I have more than enough, you know? Just the gratitude, the appreciation. That's 5D, hands down. Like I said, you know, calm, appreciation, gratitude, relaxed. There's this new energy of being relaxed because there's no attachment to prove. There's no attachment to identity. There's no attachment to who you need to be from moment to moment or what you need to have from moment to moment. There's no attachment to who you are in comparison to your family or society. You just are. And you don't give a fuck in the best possible way, right? Because you're trusting yourself and your reality from moment to moment, right? The other word that I put down here is you don't need to know, not needing to know. If you feel like you need something, you're in a lower frequency. Like in the past, like when I stepped into these psychic and clairvoyant abilities, it was like I needed to know everything because I felt like I didn't have enough. I felt like I wasn't enough. And I felt like the information was the validation for my mission. And now I'm like, fuck it. I have more than enough for lifetimes probably, right? I don't need to know anymore because I'm so in trust. And it doesn't mean that I'm in 5D all the time. It just means that I have experienced that state of being, of not needing to know. You know, feeling abundant, being relaxed, trusting. And the other word that I put down here is so grateful that nothing else matters. You're so grateful in this new high vibrational place that nothing else matters, right? Right, okay. So the other sentence that I put down here is, I don't need to know why I feel a resonation with, but I trust it. So in 3D, you're like, why do I feel this way? I need to know why. I need to know why I hate this person or why I love this person. It's like in 5D, it's like, I don't even need to know why. I just trust that I feel this way, right? And there's that key word is trust. Trusting what you can and can't see, not needing the physical, tangible validation because you're in a new frequency. You're in a higher frequency. And then lastly, you trust it all because you understand that you created it all. No attachment, no expectation, no need to know. You are the creator. So you trust that, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so last but not least, okay, cool. So right now, a lot of us are in between the different states of being, the high vibration, the low vibration. And what I have a really good example for what 3D and 5D is. So if you're in your life and there's one element of your life that's really shitty, that you hate, and every day you go to work or you know, let's just use a job, for example. You're like, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job. Transmute that vibration of I hate my job and it's not serving me to something, anything that you can appreciate about that job. And I've relayed this information to you guys before, right? I hate my job. It doesn't align to my truth. It's not a part of my mission. It's not satisfying, but it pays the bills. The second that you can take something that is the embodiment of a low vibration and bring appreciation into it is the second that you can raise your vibration out of it and shift it into a new vibrational frequency. So go from I hate my job to, you know what, my job doesn't serve me, but it does pay the bills. You're bringing appreciation into it. So the 3D version of your job is I hate my job. The 4D, say intermittent, weird, liminal place, back and forth version of your job is I don't like my job still, but it pays the bills. Okay, you're getting there. The 5D version of your job is most likely you get rid of the job that doesn't serve you and you shift into a career, and really it's not even a career when you love it so much, a place that you are living, breathing, existing in your truth, your mission, your purpose, and that is where you are. When every single element of your job, the money, the people that you work with, the things that you do, the thoughts that you think in the job, when all of those elements of that thing are aligned to the highest vibration and the most amount of appreciation, that's when you know you've completely converted that physical element of your life into 5D. Sometimes it means that you can take a 3D thing and still have the 3D thing itself and transition it into 5D. If you know what? I didn't see before how much this job really does serve me and how much it is aligned to my 5D state. Or you actually get rid of and you collapse, as we all know, collapsing that physical state in order to clear space to allow a new or many new opportunities in that align to every element, 144, to every element of your being in the highest vibration. And that's what 5D is. 5D and living your life as 5D is having your relationship, having your living situation, having your social dynamics with friends and family members, having your job, having your spiritual and your personal life aligned to your highest vibration in all of the ways, in all of the elements. Everything in alignment is 5D. And before we all get there in the physical reality, we need to start appreciating and sending gratitude for what it is that we feel lack within. And that right there is the key to transmuting, and that right there is the key to raising your vibration. So pinpoint when you are in 3D, thoughts, feelings, actions, and when you are in 5D, thoughts, feelings, actions. And that, my friends, is all for today. Thank you all so much for being here. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, of course, only if you like it. And make sure you subscribe and share this video on all of the platforms too. This is a good one for even friends and family members who may not be fully sold into the whole spiritual, new age, awakening stuff. This is a great video for that and those people. And then I'm going to have people who are those people watching this saying, is that why my friend sent me this video? Which is just funny because I tap into the timelines of the future. Okay, I love you all so much. Have a great one. I will see all my members on Thursday for an absolutely epic membership video talking about how to transmute your autopilot programming to the 5th dimension frequency. Sign up and be a member to check it out. I will see you all on Sunday. Bye for now.